Hello, everyone, and welcome to the 35th episode of the ArtaCast. Another special episode because it's the episode after the Worlds, and of course, there's a lot to talk about, and some other announcement as well. I think we will get over this. Um, yeah, and yeah, a lot to talk about. Just in this really, it's so hot here in Germany. I don't know if it's that hot
Yeah,
in your place. It's
yeah, it's hot here as
crazy.
well. Very. Yeah, and yeah, I record obviously whenever you see me on an episode it looks the same, but it's because I shut the skylight and make it uniform nighttime, which it has to be for the sake of recording. So it's the middle of the day pretty much and it's really hot in here.
Yeah,
So
it's
we'll do our best.
we do our best. I hope you appreciate our hard work here in this heat. No, yeah, the World Championship happened. A great shout out and congratulations to DKP for winning the first World Championship. I think most people will not will not disagree with him winning, or how can I say more, not say he has not deserved it. I think he deserved it very well. He showed his consistency and his skill through the whole year, and I think it was well deserved. I think it's a deserved. I think that when I saw the finals, I thought, okay, that's two deserved winners. If
Yep.
one of them wins, and I think that is a good outcome. Or how do you feel?
Yeah,
Uh,
totally agree. I mean, I think in the moment, Ed is someone that we've both interacted with quite a lot, and so in the moment, I was rooting for Ed. No shade to DKP, but Ed was just somebody that I knew better. But you couldn't argue, you could never argue that he's not deserving champion. He's put in a huge amount of work, exceptionally consistent player, just playing as much as he can all the time and delivering very, very consistent results. Yeah, huge congratulations to him. And especially, I just want to call out, especially huge congratulations to him because once again, just like when he won the DLC in Melbourne, he finds his victory slightly overshadowed by other news, if that makes sense. When he won, all anyone could talk about was the cheating scandal um,
mm-hmm.
of the other finalist, which kind of overshadowed his win, and that should have been a conversation. And obviously, the talk of today, post Worlds, is the new DLC schedule for the next 15 months ahead, um, of which reactions have been mixed at best. So again, the spotlight isn't shining as brightly on him as it should. So I want to just
Mm-hmm.
give him full props and say massive, massive congratulations. He deserves it, and he deserves our praise. If we're talking about other things other than his win, it's not because we want to. It's because there's other huge
Yeah,
news.
yeah,
And yeah, just want to give full credit to him because he does deserve to have his moment. It should
yeah.
be the huge
It's
moment. It should be all everyone's talking about today, but it's
mm-hmm.
not.
Yeah. I mean that the only problem is the format. I think is
Mm,
not that interesting for the people because nobody will play in this format again, and nobody will. So there's not that much to say. Or his decks and his because it was kind of, how can I say again? I don't want to take away the credit, but the decks were really tailored into this format,
yeah, for
um,
sure.
and so you can't take his lists or something and say no, tailored for this format. It was still a masterpiece from him for every but yeah, I think nobody will now copy his decks and say, oh, he made this, and that's a bit sad. But yeah, I was impressed with a lot of stuff happening in the tournament.
Yeah, same.
Just playing um gameplay wise and also skill expression wise. I think there was a lot of cool things. One of the most, but maybe we just talk about everything in order. In general, let's talk about that. No, let's talk about the sealed part first. How did you feel about the sealed part of the World Championship? Or do you have any feelings at all?
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it quite a lot. I enjoyed getting to see high stakes, limited gameplay. I felt like the games had a pretty high amount of skill expression in them. There is always like you can't have limited without some degree of like ability to high roll. People can open incredibly good stuff. That's true of limited formats in every single game. So that was obviously what people were worried about, was that it's not going to be particularly skillful. It's maybe the luck element is too big. I didn't really feel that watching it too much.
No.
I felt like I saw some really, really great games, really good grindy battles, and like again, it was exceptionally consistent players putting up exceptional results with sometimes with decks that didn't look like they would be that good. So it's a different form of skill expression. It's a different format to enjoy. I think gameplay wise, I enjoyed the sealed portion much more than the triple deck portion.
Yeah, I think so too. I was very impressed by for example the game Frank Carsten versus San. That was a crazy good match. I think it was round 1. I don't know. Exactly.
Yeah, it was.
And yeah, both players. So the interesting part about sealed is you have a lot of situations that you are not used to, and that makes it cool for achieving skill expression a bit, because like we all know this bounce stuff and all this maths about different parts of the game in constructed, but in limited there's a lot of, I mean, just they were able to view the decks beforehand before they played, so they could remember every card that could possibly come in the next turn. And I think there's a lot of improvement possibly still possible for everyone, because you probably can't think about any card that can come, or like it's very hard. And I think I personally was very interested in this sealed type, and I would like to play that myself in a high competitive field. And I think there's a lot of skill expression still, although the problem about sealed is for me, like, there's always like most of the time a very low resource game, and most of the time when it's a very low resource game, there are not that many decisions often. Can be not always, but can be. And then there's more these tricky board states that is way less in constructed with this
for sure
when do I quest and stuff. And I mean, I remember one game from Carsten where he had this Cusco on the board, like drawing every turn 2 cards, and I wondered, that was so cool, because he used his all other cards to gain tempo, and because of this Cusco, he ran never out of cards. Like, because the Cusco can be like, it can be dangerous because your opponent draws 2, and then you need to utilize the other cards to gain them tempo. Otherwise, you don't have much out of this card draw, obviously. And then he played it so cool and so heads up. I think it was really impressed by that. And at least that part of the tournament was very interesting to me. I don't know the deck building. That is something I can't say from outside. If there was that many decisions in deck building, I don't know. Probably not that much. I mean, I think you had like 69 cards out of your color combination that you chose, and 96 cards. And from that you have to choose 50. So probably not much
by the time
to choose.
by the time you've eliminated the things that are like completely unplayable, like random, like
Random
uninkable actions
items. Yeah.
that do nothing, and
Yeah.
items that achieve absolutely nothing, you are not cutting too much, are you? Really?
Yeah. Yeah. I was very, very, very interested. I would like to hear his because I saw Ed's sealed pool, and
Hmm.
I thought, I'm not a sealed expert, and I would like to train that even more because he played 3 uninkable one drops in his list, like
Yeah.
two of these Kakamura, or how is it called, and one. Oh, we have both a monster, by the way. Nice.
We must be
uh,
tired. It must have been a long weekend.
uh, we 2 Kakamuras and one of these stump truck, or how is it called? And
Yeah, yeah.
I thought that that's a no go to play uninkable one drops in sealed, but who am I? He went 3-0 through the sealed. I'm probably just bad. Because I think you like it's very because often you want to ink your one drop, and especially later in the game, it's very very clunky to have an uninkable one drop. I thought, but yeah, I don't know. How do you feel about that, or do you have any feelings about that? I
Yeah, I
don't
mean,
know.
in the sort of limited amount of sealed Lorcana I've
Yeah,
played, one drops are like frequently, even if they're inkable, like completely unplayable. Often
yeah,
like they're pretty bad.
yeah.
An inflexible one drop, yeah, that is a really interesting case. I'd like to know how he feels about that. And I don't know if like the super sealed format changes this at all, or if it's kind of
Mm-hmm.
like regular 6 pack one set sealed is like so much slower and grindier with a lighter pool that you basically like
Mm-hmm.
are very comfortable taking turn one off a lot of the time. And this format, maybe some players felt like you've got to be on the board right away because people are going to run away with it, and actually the overall power level is a bit higher than you expect. But yeah, would love to get his thoughts on that because it seems like I don't know. My gut feeling would be like an uninkable one drop is uh, around one of the worst things you could include in your deck.
Yeah, yeah. That was my initial thought as well. But Ed, if you hear this, there's a comment section. Please, please write a guide about your run.
Tell us why
Um,
we're stupid, Ed.
yes. No, but I think there's a lot of depth in it, and I think especially players like Frank Carsten or someone who has a lot of these maths, like made it the perfect math out of card games. I think math is a
Mm,
lot. It's a lot in this sealed stuff, but yeah,
yes, for sure.
interesting. More, how can I say? Um, Interesting question. Difficult question. How do you feel about the constructed format of the tournament? Or shall I start first?
I mean, I'll give a real quick view and then maybe you jump in.
Uh huh.
The the game that takes place before the game of like I like everything that happened about the format outside of the game, if that makes
Mhm.
sense.
Mhm.
The deck building challenge of needing to build these 3 decks, needing to think about what the standard lineups will be, what order you're likely to play these decks out in, which popular decks and combinations you're likely to play which things into, how you can create windows for things like aggressive decks through the format. I think that is super cool. That is a whole new way of thinking about the
Mhm.
game,
Mhm.
a completely unique challenge that is like interesting, if a little irrelevant, because I'm highly unlikely to play the format, you know? So it's like
Mhm.
this was a cool thing. It was really interesting to watch people navigate this very different challenge and do all of that thinking outside the game, all of the theory crafting, all of the practice. It really in a lot of ways was like the ultimate challenge for Worlds competitors because they
Mhm.
were not just tasked to bring like a deck that they're super well practiced with. They really were given a significant challenge to wrap their heads around.
Mhm.
Um, with all of that said, I felt like the actual quality of gameplay within the games was way below what I expected. Not because of player quality, far from it, because of the format itself.
Um. Yeah. So generally, Yeah, I would agree. The problem is, and it was kind of obvious. Nah, it was not too obvious for me, but it's kind of appealing. How can I say, for players to build decks that are exceptional on the play, because you can choose when you the decks when you go first, and or additionally you can ban steal if you want to. So that is surely an appealing thing to build something hyper aggressive. To build, to just win the one game on the play with him, with the deck, just a free win, you could say. And that's what happened quite a lot, and that was really sad. Although I don't, how can I say? I don't know. I analyzed it a bit. Like the top from the top 4 players, only 2 played an hyper aggro lineup, and I still wasn't completely convinced by it, because there were also some turn 1 bells which they just lose then. And it's like, yeah, I mean, you will probably win the game on the play, that's true, but I think, yeah, you are forced then to ban steal, and I thought maybe that was something I underestimated, that your how predictable you are plays more of a role than but it played less of a role than I thought it would be. So like I thought like more of this mind gamey, which deck will I pick now stuff plays more of a role than I played less of a role than I thought. And yeah, but still like Ed, for example, and also like Content Drago, top who was in the semifinal, played a relatively, how can I say, conservative lineup, like not very, I mean, Content Drago played blue green, but that's no aggro deck or something, that's an item deck and stuff. So they played both no hyper aggro and still came. So I'm still not sure what is the better approach. But the problem is, yeah, like you said, there were a lot of non-games, and that was of course a bit disappointing. Like these, I have 16 lore on turn 4. That was often the case, and that's of course a bit stupid. Like, yeah, and sad a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's really what I was getting at when I said about, I don't mean to suggest that like all of the games were low quality, like far from it. There were amazing games to be seen, but considering how consistent Lorcana is as a game, I watched far more non-games than I ever would have expected to see at a World Championship for this. I watched far more non-games than I've ever seen at a DLC, So that is a bit disappointing. I don't think it's avoidable because of the nature of the format, and it's kind of like the price you pay to take this big swing on a really interesting, unique, challenging format for the world's competitors to get their head around. Not mad about the whole thing at all. It was a really cool watching experience in general. But yeah, the non-games left a bit of a bad taste in your mouth. And there were also like some occasions where it really felt like a player has gone one game ahead, and now on the draw they have to like feed one of their decks to their opponent's good deck to get it out. And it was like not a non-game in terms of a runaway, but a non-game in terms of like a let's force the polarized matchup OTD, basically throw this one game and get back to playing on the front foot where we can navigate towards winning the series.
And this
which
fact,
is a weird feeling.
And this fact I thought is way more punishing, because I thought in this like high competitive field you can just not, how can I say, like shoot a bullet from your gun just into the air, and but because like you win the first game, and then you have 2 bullets in your gun, and one of these bullets you just shoot in the air because you don't want it. And I thought that you can't allow that in a high competitive field. You have
sure,
but it was good enough most of the time. And yeah,
Yeah,
Um,
and like of course the players still take their chances, right? It's not like anyone just shuffles up for a game and
no,
goes, you
no,
know
no,
what,
of course,
I'm
but
accepting this loss. And so that in some cases they wound up to be quite compelling games when on
yeah,
paper
yeah.
you would think, okay, we see what's happening here. This is like a very unfavored deck on the draw into something that's very likely to crush it. This levels out and leaves them with a better matchup next. Yeah, they still made good games out of them, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's a lot of like new and weird feelings, right? Of like you're not used to thinking on that level when watching this game.
the funny thing was like these hyper aggro lineups, kind of every color was paired with. It didn't matter at all. Was paired with Ember to play a hyper
Hmm.
aggro deck. Like one played Ruby Ember, one played Emerald Ember, one played Purple Ember, and like every color was just paired with ladies and daisies, and
Hmm.
thought like, okay, this is my on the play deck, my nonsense deck. You could say like. Yeah, not nonsense deck. You know what I mean. It's not like it's like
Yeah,
yeah, it's my hyper aggro deck's just even
yeah, the core
DKP.
strat.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, like, the core strategy is play a lady and then with lady put into play a 2-cost 1/1/3 quester. It doesn't matter if that 2-cost 1/1/3 quester is Olivia Flavisham green, Simba red, Pinocchio purple. They're the same card, and it's just you just pair whichever color you don't want to play with amber and make a hyper aggro deck. So yeah, that was like I mean that was interesting in its own way and it was fun to watch, but yeah, the pattern was pretty clear. Go first,
Yeah, yeah.
drive
Because
out
even
daisies, and then
DKP,
lady.
DKP had Ember, Emerald, and not even like Chernodog or something. Even faster, you know. Even
Yep,
like you said,
just
even
pulled
like
sideways.
full three caster stuff, and like I think he played even 12 ward two questers like this.
Hmm.
There are three. One, the Prince Philip, then the Jetsam or Flotsam, one of these, and
Hmm.
the Hera from who protects also like the Zeus or something. I don't know. She has an additional effect. All warded two quest or three cost like just to push out the last law. It
Yeah.
was. I mean, I was wondering. I was really wondering while watching it how I because I think like last week we talked about also about our initial lists, and then I showed you some, yeah, how can I say, some a very basic lineup like these green purple, and then when I play tested it and I saw like the ideas, then I would think, okay, yeah, that's surely appealing to play these on the play decks, but then I don't know if I would have been brave enough to bring it still. Like I don't
Yeah,
know.
right.
That would be interesting what I would brought, because yeah, it's still like hard. I think it's not too easy to say because like Ed was also in the finals and he played very
Mm.
conservative lists. Like I think he played just like three constructed decks that you can bring to a tournament and win any constructed format tournament with it, like and that also was successful, so it is still
Yeah,
interesting.
there's a really interesting sort of bit of thinking with playing these hyper aggro decks in the lineup, which is that like you look at it and you think, I don't know, maybe people don't think this, but there's like an inclination. There's like an inclination to think, okay, right, well you've basically just taken your two remaining colors, made it as fast as you can, and it almost feels like more of a gamble, but actually in reality these players must have practiced the format so much to have
Mm-hmm.
the confidence to put a deck like that in
Mm-hmm.
their
Yeah, yeah,
lineup
yeah, yeah, yeah.
because there's so many matchups they can't win. There are so many matchups that they basically can never win on the draw.
Mm-hmm.
So you really would have to have a deep feel for the intricacies of all of the ban phase, play draw, what you play into what,
Mm-hmm.
and just so many reps needed to get to this point where you're really confident
Yeah,
having
yeah,
something so unbelievably linear in your lineup where it looks like okay they've just thrown it against the wall and it's two questers and they're just going to go fast and as soon as they as soon as they lose to red blue, they just cue this thing up on the play and smash them. But there's a lot more thought going on. It's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot more. Yeah, you need a lot of confidence to play something like that, because these decks in isolation, these hyper aggressive things, like they're not.
The
You can't
bad
play
decks.
that.
That
You
bad
can't
decks.
play that in an open
No,
format. Like
no,
you'll
never.
never get. You will lose to steel almost every
You
single time.
lose, you lose every game on the draw, and half the games on the play if steel is in the
Yes.
format.
Yep.
So like you
Yep.
have a 25% win rate probably. Nah, I don't know it. I'm exaggerating a bit, but it's like this. Like on the draw
Yeah. Right.
is crazy. Even like a fox is so crazy against some
Yeah.
of
The
these
game.
decks.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
like the game ends
there,
sometimes.
there
Yeah.
was one game I thought the opponent, I don't know who was it, but the opponent has just one fox in their hand, and he saw that, and kind of this fox in the hand checkmates him so much. It was kind of weird, like because all of his characters have one real power. But yeah, um, I want to that everyone gets the respect that they deserve.
Mm.
And that's why I want to make a short shout out to my friend Sailor and Wonderland, which I also helped a bit in preparing. Not too much. I helped them a bit with preparing for Worlds, and I think that's why I want to make a short shout out. I think they were a bit unfortunate with their tournament run. I think they are not too disappointed, but they started both 1-2 out of the sealed part of the tournament, so they knew they would have to win all 4 games. No, all 4 games, and then they lost sadly both one of these 4 games, and then it was not enough. And I want to make a shout out because I really, really, really think that was a great lineup that they brought. They brought, and I think they were very, very well prepared. And sometimes you also need a bit of luck. They just for the viewers, just that we show one lineup that we also think is was really good. They played Ruby Sapphire items, green steel, and purple yellow hyper aggro. What I really like about this is that you have about this lineup that you have blue red and green steel, which are very powerful decks in itself. Like I think nobody denies that. And purple yellow is the best of these hyper aggro decks in my opinion, because you have a lot of reach, and I think purple yellow was always like the hyper aggro color combination, and you have still 4 golds and 4 white rows. There's so much reach, even if you can be stopped in the early game a bit. And they tested. They I think they will never lose on the play with this deck, and the other 2 decks are so good of capable of winning on the draw. So I just want to make a short shout out. Next time you will hopefully get more luck. I mean, it was still like they went 4-3. I think that's not too disappointing in a world championship, but
No.
absolutely not. But of course, there is still like you need sometimes a bit more. And I think they were just very, very well prepared, and it's sad that it didn't. How can I say didn't that no one of these 2 made top cut. That was a bit sad for me, but I think they did a very great job and can be proud of themselves still. Yeah. That's that. What would I say? I forgot to say something. I forgot. Have we any
Can't be
more?
very
Have
important.
we? Have we anything more to say about the format? About the tournament?
Um,
About
no, I just want to say one more thing about the format, which is that I do think one thing I did really enjoy about it, that was kind of like a surprising element, was that as we approach rotation, this 3 deck format did give us a chance to see like a bunch of cards that we've never really seen see play at this level before. It's not just like some slightly different strategies or more aggressive things, but like a bunch of cards that just there haven't been room for them at the sort of high competitive tables very much. And I just really quickly wanted to call out a deck that I really, really enjoyed, which was
Mm-hmm.
Lucas Cowper's
Mm-hmm.
Emerald Steel. So for his aggressive deck, he's played Green Steel.
Mm-hmm.
This does not look like any Green Steel you've seen before. Well,
Mm-hmm.
maybe it does slightly to like maybe those set 3 first iterations, but there's no discard element. This is Green Steel aggro. And yeah, I really like this. This is so close to something I was trying to make work myself this set, just to see if like this pair could come together. And there are a load of really interesting cards here that are like so close to playable, and
Mm-hmm.
as such have real potential to be playable post rotation, like Jock and Captain Hook. These sorts
Captain
of
Hook,
things,
yeah.
like yeah, these very interesting and powerful aggressive cards that like when I saw this list, I just thought, yeah, you've done it. It's great. Like this is super cool, and exactly what I was trying to achieve when I was trying to brew something like this up. So yeah, just really quickly wanted to call that out, and I think there are probably a handful of other lists you could point to as well that actually, as we approach rotation, it's time to start thinking about these things, get some of the,
Mm-hmm.
take some interest in these cards, and it's nice to have worlds build a little bit of that excitement. So, yeah, certainly a success in that regard. I saw some cards hit the table that I've never seen hit the table before
Yeah,
in this
yeah, yeah.
tournament, and that's a great feeling. So, yeah,
Also,
shout out to Lucas, and yeah, I thought that deck in particular was really cool.
this list is very cool and it emphasizes exactly what you said before. Like you have to be really confident. I mean, you could just play a random green steel, like just a
Yep.
good like Prince John stuff deck, and you decide yourself to play this over traditional green steel. So you have to be
Mm-hmm.
really confident that
Yep.
this is better. So that is the most impressive thing for me. Like to say, okay, I have a better chance of winning with this on the play than with traditional green
Mm-hmm.
steel. That's a cool. And you see, like everyone was, and that what I thought was not that clear for me. Everyone was banning steel, and
Mm-hmm.
because he has no Ursula in it, for example, like it's crazy for me. No 2-drop Ursula because they think,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I will ban steel anyway, so why do I need Ursula then? So that's what I thought probably because I saw no Ursulas and no lists nearly. That was crazy for me to play no
Yeah.
Ursula. We could never
Yeah. It's
imagine
like
that.
when you can ban steel, like your opponents come pre-Ursula. You don't need to Ursula them.
Yeah, yeah,
You already Ursula the best songs in the format by banning steel. So it's like, why play it?
yeah. And yeah, there were a lot of cards. Also, like in Zach Bivens' deck, there were like 3 or 4 cards I had to read even.
Mm-hmm.
Like these
Yep.
items. There was one, I think one item that could bounce something.
Yeah, Galactic
Uh, yeah,
Communicator.
yeah, and I mean this trap I knew which
Mm-hmm.
reduces the law.
Yeah, I've seen that doing its thing
Um,
before.
but that's just very good confidence. And yeah, that Zach Bivens was also very close of that was an intense game. Him versus DKP.
Very, very, very. Yep.
Um, yeah. So I think it's a bit sad that we. I mean, we could talk about this format for years. I think because it's very interesting, but it's like not necessary because we don't get that much out of it anymore. And this
Mm. Oh,
was
before we
yeah
wrap it up, sorry, before we
no
wrap
no
up the gameplay section of Worlds, um, one last shout out, and I'm aware that this could quickly become the episode of shout outs, just like half an hour of us saying names. But I really wanted to shout out Baker
oh yeah.
after watching this. Um, it was almost the most like for me personally, it was kind of like the most emotional point of the weekend was like almost 2 years ago now, I met Baker for the first time at a set 3 pre-release, and his YouTube channel was new and it was small, and we had a conversation, and he said he was like aware of what I was doing and I was aware of what he was doing, and we had a nice chat with each other. And he said to me, he just goes, "All I want to do in this game, I just want to commentate. Like when official events start, I want to be commentating."
Nice.
And I thought, yeah, well, you know what, you seem to have the personality for it. Like chase that. Like they're going to need commentators, just chase it. And yeah, he hasn't let up, and he went all the way, and he put on a real show this weekend, and just felt proud. Like just proud of our friend for just bringing so much energy and like doing an amazing job. And yeah, I mean the whole broadcast crew were great, but like Baker and JDZ as well. Like I want to shout him out. The two of them together is an amazing combo. Like we've not had that before, and they were fantastic together in the booth. But yeah, massive shout out to Baker. Like just you made it.
He's
man.
made
like,
for this.
It, and it's
he's really made for this. He's really God made him and said you will become a Lorcana commentator.
Right.
That's really cool. And yeah, he's just very talented, and I'm very happy for him because he's also such a nice person. And I can really relate.
He's where he belongs, and we're all the better for it. So yeah. Massive. That was a big one. You know, like Worlds is the culmination of that first competitive season, but it's also the culmination of like a lot of people's individual stories. And there are people. The Baker's like the perfect example of. He's put in a lot of work over the last 2 years.
Absolutely.
And it's good work, and like that's a story worth celebrating as well. And so I just wanted to flag that up because for me that was like a very close to home narrative that was like, I'm just really happy to see it.
And I hope he knows, or hopefully he knows that not only that he knows how important he is. Such persons are so important for the game. I think it's so different if Baker's would be not here or not in the community. Then it's really, he's really important. I mean, every competitive player is not important, but he's important. I mean, every competitive player, if we have one less, then okay, you know, like who cares? But that's for sure. Big shout out.
Yep.
And I personally, last shout out for today. We only shout out today. Want to make a shout for all the players of the tournament, because I know how it feels, or how it could feel, to be not successful. And but you know, all that variances in it, and I hope you just feel proud to that you have been part of it. And then don't feel too disappointed to not perform. Although there was probably a lot of money on the table, to be honest. But just be proud of yourself that you. There are a lot of names you could name that were not able to get there, like me or you or no, I'm not, or I don't know. There are so many names that you could say who would deserve, who could also possibly be there, and didn't make it. So just feel proud that you made it, and that's very important for me. That to say that, yes. Okay.
Nice.
Let's talk a bit about the other news that we got, and there's also already a lot of talk about that. We got like the season 2 reveal, what's coming up, and I don't know how to start or how we want to talk about it, but a lot of disappointment was there for a lot of people to get not that many DLCs and not that many just dates to be excited for till the end of 2026, which is a lot of time, honestly. And yeah, I think it's needed to be excited about dates to prepare for. Otherwise, it doesn't make that much. You don't have that much motivation to prepare, and that's a bit sad for me personally. For me personally, it worked out a bit because I'm in Asia, and in Asia we got 5 DLCs, which is kind of okayish.
I did not.
Although, yeah,
Yeah, sorry to cut in. I didn't have that on my like bingo card for the weekend, by the way, where like this where somehow moving away from your home continent to Asia would have opened means that you have better opportunity, like more opportunity to qualify for Worlds than you would have had at home. That is
that is
a
insane. Yeah.
wild turn of events. Yeah, incredible.
Yeah, but honestly, yeah, it's I let it settle a bit like over the night and thought about it, and I'm a bit less negative than yesterday, but it's still, yeah. The problem is like that I think you need a lot of chances in general, just in average, to qualify, even if you're a really good player. And so I would like to have more chances, because it all depends always on this one day to perform.
Yep.
And that could lead to even more, how can I say, good players not making it. That's my first impression, and that is exactly what we don't want it to happen, I think. Yeah, how do you feel about it?
Yeah, I have a lot of feelings, and I've sat on them for, I slept on it, and then I woke up and still felt quite disappointed, and I sort of wasted a bit of time just chatting in public channels about it, and probably getting more worked up than I should have done. But the for me, like my thoughts are so simple. Like actually, now that I've had a chance to sit with it and just have it sink in, that my one question is so simple, which is like, I spent the last 2 years being part of this community in Europe. We started out where the first wave of DLCs had a 500 player cap. We had to push and show our demand, show how much we wanted to play to get that cap extended, to get extra events put on. Then we were sort of led to believe good things will come in time, it will be bigger and better. My question is simply, why is it smaller? Why are there 3 DLCs in Europe? What have we not demonstrated that the demand is there? We've sold out all these events. There is demand across a wide range of countries. Not every, by the way, I'm not bent out of shape about no event in the UK. It's like inconvenient, but you can't always expect there to be a DLC in your country when you live in a continent like Europe. You have to be prepared to travel, but it's the volume of events for me. It's basic. It's actually very simple as well. It's like, why is it 3 instead of 4? Why is it not the same again? Why have we moved backwards? Really, this should be such a simple question. Like, I just would love to know. I'd love to have that explained. Like, why are we back to fighting this same battle again? Why is the initial offering lower than what there is demand for? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I've spoken to a lot of people. It doesn't make a great deal of sense to them as well. Obviously, some DLCs is better than none, but like, why? I just would love to know why there are so few. And that's basically the essence of my feeling on it. I don't know what your reaction is.
My reaction is always, not always. My reaction was like, yeah, I kind of thought themselves, but because I think we can't understand it probably because there are so many things in the background that we don't know, and then I think there can be simple answers for that can't be made public. For example, like they didn't get enough budget from the company. I don't know. There are so many things that, although I'm always like a believer in this, like, how can I say, the economy, because like if the demand is there, then it will come, because it's wasted money. But yeah, there must be something that's not. I think they are not stupid. I still don't believe that, because I think it's a big company, and there are a lot of. I think they have a lot of economists and stuff. I don't know. I don't think they are just stupid. That makes no sense to me. So there must be reasons for that, and so I try to be not that mad, because I think I just don't get it. Or I can't get it.
Yeah.
So I try to be as neutral as I can get. Just about I think if my madness goes down, then my disappointment goes down as well. So that's how that's how I feel.
Yeah, and that makes total sense. You are completely right. There's like, when it comes to decisions like this, there are so many mechanics at play, and we'll never know all of them, especially because a lot of them are probably quite sensitive, like you say. They're either to do with budgets, or they're to do with like internal bottlenecks. Problems like this can even be like different conflicts of priority between like individuals across organizations.
Exactly.
You can have organized play programs held up by like a single person who basically holds an opinion, something close to like,
that's
no,
a casual game.
The right place to it.
That's a casual
exactly.
game. Yeah.
This isn't where we should invest. This game should cater to a casual market. That is where we will divert the investment to. It only takes one person, and you have tens of thousands of competitive players disappointed. And all of that to say, like, none of those things will ever be told to us, right? We can't hold out for those answers, because we're never going to get a weekly Lorecast that comes on, where the team take to the camera and go, "Hey, we hear you. Actually, it was this person's fault, and this is their name and address and email, and we
just
them,
want to make money, and that's our only goal."
So that communication is great, and it's very important, and communication is getting way better between Ravensburger and the community. But there are some things that they just won't communicate about. So it's like we're hoping for answers that might never come. All we can really do is just the same as we've done before, which is showing that the demand is there, making it very clear in hopefully constructive ways that we're disappointed. Like I sort of took to Twitter like right away, and took to Discord right away, and basically just said something to the effect of like, this is okay if one more element is added. Like, for me, when I look at the picture of the organized play offering that they revealed, I look at it and I think, right, there is like a stream missing, which is some sort of mid-tier progression journey or tournament series that qualifies you for continentals. Like, so DLCs remain big open tournaments that anyone can turn up to and walk away with humongous prizes, and qualify directly to Worlds if they win, directly to continentals if they top 32. Where are like national level tournaments where like the winner gets a continentals invite, or these third party 200-ish player events that they're supporting? Can we not offer an invite to the winner of that, for example? Are there just so that there are more dates in the calendar where you could realistically have a path to progress in this organized play journey? It's just something like that, or even a system like Pokemon has, where it's like it could be a point system ground over time. I don't like that so much, but some people do like that. It's just like alternatives to consider.
What points is no, it's not point, it's elo. That's what I in World of Warcraft TCG, which I played competitively, there was like this elo system, like you play on a ladder or something in a game, where you just get or lose points if you win matches in the tournament, like even like semi big tournaments, like just how can I say, support the tournaments from them. And so it was like very fair, very, very fair, I think, to qualify for the World Championship. Even I qualified throughout that, and not throughout a single tournament. I made it through this top 100. The top 100 were just qualified for the World Championship, and that was, I mean, doesn't mean we need top 100, but I think that's a very, very fair way to qualify. The only problem is about this system that you can't just randomly go to a tournament with a funny brew or something, because you have to like perform even in smaller tournaments then, and then you are like, you're not you're forced to not experiment with your decks and just play really high competitive things every time. But yeah, I think there are solutions for that, which are not too complicated. I think they still want to have the words very small, which I get. I think that's not too wrong or something. I think it can't be said objectively. It's some. I mean, there's not only upsides if you have a bigger field in the World Championships. I think if you get there, you're even better rewarded. But if you have a bigger field, then you get easier there, but then you get less rewards. So yeah, it's hard to say. I think personally, if you watch this, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't mind it, and I understand it a bit. It doesn't make a lot of sense to speculate what they were thinking or what they were doing. Accept it or don't accept it. That's also something. You can just say, I don't accept it, and then it's we are, as a customer, you can say we are like dependent on their decisions, and if we don't agree with their decisions, then we are free people and can choose to go somewhere else. That's sadly the thing. It's always
how
like
capitalism works.
Yeah, that's how capitalism works. My wife is always like very mad at me because not very mad because like I'm like oh no, I think I can't say that now. I lose all my friends.
Just stop. Just cut and run.
No, I think I can say it. I'm in theory, and I'm a capitalism believer, and that's probably not very, very popular or something. But I think often it is like, it will find its way. If companies make only bad decisions, then the company goes down. And like always, like in WoW, when every add-on in World of Warcraft, they cry. That is bad. And I think that they don't play it and play something else. I don't know, but yeah, I observe it, see if I like it, and if I come to the conclusion I don't like it anymore, then I don't play it anymore. That's my thing. And if everyone goes like that, then it all goes its own way, and it goes the natural way. Because if they only do bad things, they will lose their customers, and then it's fair because they just did it bad. And if it's like if it's like that, then they did something wrong. And if the people will still accept it, then it's probably not the worst decision of all time. Probably, you have to, if you're honest. So like like for example, I have another example now. But today is the off-topic example. Nintendo Switch 2 was released, and everyone was crying. 500 euro. It's too expensive. Nintendo is a how is it called in English? Cash grabber or something? And then, but the console was sold out in like a week or something. And what can I have to say then? I have to say it was the perfect price. It was exactly the perfect price. It was not too expensive. It was the perfect price. You can't say anything. If the product is sold out with this price, it's the perfect price. Or it's even to less. It's even to
Yeah,
less.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. If it sells out quickly, then
Yeah.
then it's not they've not charged enough for it by like the basic economic mechanisms within capitalism. Yeah, like if these things continue to sell out, then they are. Yeah, but it's very interesting to be like through the lens of tournament offerings. Like it's not a price concern or there's no price. So one of the things that I was thinking about is like, okay, fair enough. Big events like DLCs are very expensive to organize and run. They cost a lot of money, especially if you want to host them in premium locations like major metropolitan cities. They are really expensive. So when the cost of something like that goes up really high, you can run fewer of them or you can
Mhm.
increase the price. I think that the level of appetite in this game is so high. People are so, and also the prizing is very, very high. Like like
Mhm.
the amount of money you can make in these tournaments is far higher than a lot of TCGs. The ROI of playing in a lot of these things is really off the
Yeah,
chart
but no,
once
no,
you
no,
get
no,
to a certain point.
no. I think not necessarily. It's just nah. It's just more money because it is more money. How can I say? Like they have no cost in these pricings. They print a thing of paper like but the paper thing is like 100,000 euro worth, like this golden
Yep.
Mickey, for example. It's not that they have a high cost of producing this card. It's just
No,
because, yeah,
no.
just because it's far more cheap for them than just giving out 30,000 euros or so. But
Yeah, of course.
but it's like just the popularity of the game is like the selling the selling point there in these pricings, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe we missed something because I
Hmm.
didn't observe, actually, if I'm honest, like the player amount of competitive or the competitive demand. Maybe it did get down a bit. I don't know. Maybe I
Yeah.
observed it wrong or so. That's what I thought as well. Like maybe in set 1 or 2 it was way more demand than now. I don't know if we lost a bit of the player base or not. I didn't observe it, or I can't observe it. Yeah,
No,
yeah,
how well this was one of the bigger, more philosophical questions I wanted to ask potentially today, which is like, how do you measure that? Like how do
Mm-hmm.
you measure the relative health and success of a trading card game? It's rare that these companies will publish completely transparent sales figures and that sort of thing for you to just track in real time or anything like that. And when we've gone so long without DLCs, it's not like we've got attendance figures trending down to look back at, right? Like we how can you say how many people would attend a DLC today?
Mm-hmm.
There's not
Mm-hmm.
been
Mm-hmm.
one for a year.
Yeah.
It's impossible to know. It doesn't feel, we can take metrics like, for example, views on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
we've held reasonably consistent over the 9 months we've done this. So it doesn't appear,
Yeah.
but then
That's
you could
true.
say like maybe we are reaching more people within the community over time, but that number is trending down a little bit. It's all
Yeah.
guesswork.
Yeah. Yeah.
For this is one of the reasons why I have such an issue with like the reduced number of DLCs in Europe and North America versus last year, which is that the only the only like thing I could point to about like the size of the game is the number of open major events that there are in the calendar.
Mm.
Like that's the public metric of
Yeah.
health, is it
Yeah.
not?
That's
Is it
true. Yeah.
is that not our metric of how well we're doing? Like it's and so to
Yeah.
demonstrate any kind of step backwards is really dangerous. Like and obviously we'll have people worrying like what's going on? Have we taken a step back? Like we felt like we were going from strength to strength. People are really engaged in this game. You've got an incredibly passionate, dedicated, engaged community, really like nothing I've ever seen before. Um, and maybe we're not doing as well as we thought we were. All of this is just impossible to know. It is pure speculation. But it would be really good to know that But I don't hold out hope we'll get that those decisions will be explained fully, because of all the reasons we said before. It's just internal mechanics that there's very little benefit to anyone in sharing them externally. If it's just to reassure people, they're never going to do it because the risk outweighs the reward. So we just kind of have to guess and see what attendance for these events looks like. If they're 2,000 player cap and they sell out in 5 minutes, we can reasonably do the exact same thing we did last time, which is widely complain that there aren't enough DLCs and hope that the demonstration of demand leads to more. That's about the only thing we can do, right?
Yeah, that's true. I think I honestly don't mind if we just get one DLC per set, per season.
That's fine.
You could say.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that actually. No, we get one in set 9. I don't know if we get one in set 10. I don't know, but it's like, so Bologna
It's 3
is
over the course of 4 sets.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. True. Yeah. That's still sad.
Yeah, and it's literally that one event that makes the difference for me as well. In terms of our watermark in Europe is season 1 was 4 events. I will take 4 again. And because for me, my biggest hang up is the principle of a step backwards. Please demonstrate to me that we are continuing along a path of not stepping backwards. It's all I want. I just need that reassurance to know that we're on a positive trajectory. I don't like what a step backwards represents for the game. I think that people have worked really hard to push and continue this and carry it through a tough time. Show us the right trajectory, and we will deliver the game along it, you know?
What do we say about the Infinity format in the last DLC?
Some people will like it if they like Fortosphere and Hiram Flavisham. Other people that don't like those cards.
No. There will be banned list. I think there will be a banned
Well, they
list.
said it's going to have its own ban list, but it's going to start with none.
Oh, okay. Then I didn't.
That was part of the announcement. Unless I'm mistaken, someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Well, I had an interesting conversation about Infinity format just this morning with Harlan and a couple of other people actually, saying like, for me, my hype level for Infinity is like 0 because my hype level for rotation is really high. I've spent the last 2 years observing the same play patterns literally thousands of times. My hype level to play a tournament with those same play patterns is not high at all. I don't want to play Infinity. Yeah. I want to be challenged in a new format and explore new things, find new ways of expressing skill in this game. Show me what's next. I don't need to look back yet. We're not even. It's like being. You don't get excited to like eat your favorite meal while you're already eating your favorite meal, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's a problem for me as well. When I moved to Japan, like I just have to slam Diablos and Prince Johns again, but I hope they will accelerate now in releasing their sets. But I'm not very. No. I'm not excited for slamming more of these cards. I want it fresh too. Yeah. Because there's also if something is fresh, there's also more chances of like innovating and stuff. And
and you given enough time, you will always get the the rose tinted glasses. Like, give us a year of no bouncing rabbits, and I'll be the one sitting here. Like, definitely, I'm basically addicted to nostalgia. There's nothing that I can't look back on and think, "Whoa, that was amazing," when actually it was bad. And and I just think, just give me back bouncing rabbits forever. Leave me for long enough, and I will start to think that. But right now, I can't feel that way because I'm just so bored of it all.
And what do we say about best of 3?
Very good.
Very good.
Ding, ding,
I
thought about it.
I thought about it. How can I say? I think for us two especially, it's a good thing because we play fair decks, and we are stupid. For other players,
True.
No, but what I just wanted to say is like you need 10 to probably to make day 2 and to make top cut, and that's a task also. And I don't know, because people like, it's always like a cheap excuse to say, oh, it's easy for me if it's best of 3. Easy. Everybody thinks he will win best of 3 like
Yeah.
8-1. They will win 12 games and lose only 1. I don't know if 10-2 is way more easy than like what we need now for reaching top cut, but and it's also like more exhausting and way less. I would be way less interested in playing a control deck, because like the time thing is like you can't play red blue items. It's just not. I mean, red blue items will not exist anymore probably, but it's like it's not possible to play a slow control deck in this format.
If you go to time and take an unintentional draw, that can destroy your entire run.
And that will happen if you have a mirror match.
Oh yeah. Yep.
That's nearly no shot to finish a best of 3. So
yep.
Like that would be a consideration for me and for other people as well. So I think it has not only upsides because everyone is celebrating it. I'm still pretty indifferent. When 2-game format was released first, I was very high on it, and I got a bit lower with every month. But it's also like, if I was very successful, I would not be lower on it probably. But just because of the fact I didn't do well in most of the DLCs, you get naturally a little lower on it, probably naturally. We are all humans. We have feelings. We have like, that's I think it's natural to see it then a bit from your own perspective. And I don't know. My feeling is 2-game format was not the worst thing of if I'm completely honest and trying to be objective, then I think it was not the worst thing of every. But still, I'm totally okay with best of 3 as well. So I'm pretty. I have no feelings, to be honest. Because I only think about my chance of reaching top cut, and I don't know if that's higher with best of 3. I don't know.
I mean, this new structure is like, it's good. I like it. I like the idea of playing more Lorcana in a main event. But like, realistically, once draws are in the mix, like, is it basically 10-1-1 for top cut? Like, people will split in the last round.
That's
second to last round, and you take a thin. If you talk about 2,000 person field, which is what we have to guess these will be. And you go 10-1-1.
No, I think if you go 9-3 and nobody would draw, then you would still some players would still be in. So I think 10-2 is enough regardless. But I don't know. I don't have the math. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. It's probably the people will be doing tons of calculations, but it's somewhere in that region. Regardless, it's still a very tall order, even for the absolute players in the world. You are talking about, like, what is this? This is like a group over 80% win rate in best of 3s on the day. Not easy for anyone.
Yeah. It's just the question is like, will the skill expression be higher in that format? And it probably, hopefully will, and that's what I hope for, because like you play more games, and play more games is just you get your win rate more averaged out, or how can I say, like I can't explain it in English. Like, it's more, you get your average win rate more accurate than in a lower amount of games. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's a good thing.
Yep.
Yeah. So let's wait a bit. And I would like. I saw so many. I have like how can I say, a recommendation for the viewers, if you think about, because I saw so many people like, I quit the game and stuff, and then I think like, let the anger, let the madness, let it settle a bit, and then you hopefully think a bit less bad about it. And but if you feel too upset, of course it's but it would be sad if because of that, it's not the end of the world. It's just a bit less. And if like these feelings, what you have, these mad feelings, would not be there, I think you wouldn't feel too. It's one DLC less. That's everything. And yeah, it still has a bad taste, of course. But I think I would just recommend not overreacting, or how can I say, not. Yeah, that's just my feeling right now. Yeah, that's just something I want to say. And before everyone says I'm a capital, because I always hear my wife, and I don't say I'm a capitalist, yeah, but it's like, I understand everything. It's not that I don't understand, and I don't think the economic is everything or something like it. That's not what that's what she doesn't understand sometimes as well. I don't say it's everything, but it's sometimes I'm tending to be more on the, like, how can I say, you can't prevent the people for thinking economic, and then it's like you have to be in that world where it is like it is. And then it's sometimes hard for me to explain these things in English, to be honest. Maybe it's not easy to explain. Maybe we cut that out.
No, I think I get it.
Okay.
Just about.
If you get it, then the people will get it too. Yeah, I just want to have good feelings in the community still. If it's like if we got bad news, I want to spread good feelings.
Yeah. And I think, like, for me, just to sum up my thought, like, it doesn't make sense to dwell on the negative feelings or anything, because it's not like people don't know. It's not like Ravensburger don't know how people have reacted to this. It's also very likely that they fully understood what the reaction would be before they announced it, and anything that can be done is already in the pipeline. Doesn't make sense to needlessly doom, even though like reaction, but that's gonna happen. Yeah, I just think like for me it's also important just to like say my piece. I'm super invested in this game. I'm here every week recording this with you so that people that play this game can have something to listen to that's hopefully informative, and like we provide a service to this community a little bit, and in return like the community is great to us, and we love it, and we ask for nothing more. But like, I'm an active participant in this community and I'm disappointed. Like, if someone sees that, just let me be a data point for you.
No, of course.
I just don't want to see a step backwards.
Of course, and it's important to speak out your disappointment, because like even for them it could be just important to know that. I mean, it's of course important to speak out your disappointment. That's not what I think that's really important to say that, because they need to know. They need to know what we think, and that's important.
But just to say, like, now that's known. I don't need to spend every week saying there should be more DLCs than ever.
Exactly.
The perspective is put across. People can act on it or they cannot, depending on who has the means to do what and when. You can't do any more than that, and it doesn't make sense to dwell in negativity beyond just like the very factual statement of I am disappointed. I would have liked to see last year's DLCs matched.
It's like Master Yoda said, like, anger leads to hate, and hate leads to suffering, and no. With this, I don't know, Is there anything you want to talk about?
Well, I mean, like it makes sense to just end on a slightly more positive note. I'm really, really excited for rotation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I cannot wait to like be free of some of these cards. I think over the next few weeks we should get some like post rotation episodes coming up. Um, let's talk about some things that might be possible. Let's talk about what we want reprinted. Let's
Oh
do
yeah,
these
yeah,
things.
yeah.
Yeah, someone came through with a great suggestion last week in the comments about like
Did
let's
you see?
a reprints based thing.
Did you see
Yes,
which
did I
card gets
see?
reprinted?
I did, and this is like such a minor thing amongst all the other announcements, but I
It
really,
is,
really love that Pegasus. That was like the actual high point of my
yeah,
weekend was that
and
that promo Pegasus gets printed.
I personally, I'm absolutely not. I don't care about anything about foils at all. Sometimes I have my collection, then and then my wife says, "Ah, you have that in foil too." When I put it in my deck, and I think, "Oh, if I play it in normal now, I don't need it in foil." And then that's the least thing I'm interested in, to play my deck in only foils or enchanted or something. But this Pegasus, if I play green purple or something, and then this card I need 4 times, and I will play this 4 times in
Mm-hmm.
my deck if Pegasus can. But Pegasus has a good, yeah, I think that's a good shot to be playable still. I think
Yeah,
yeah,
totally. Like
yeah,
this should be an evergreen card. This is the
yeah.
sort of thing that like if this ever becomes completely unplayable, then the game has seen significant power creep.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's always going to be situational, right? Like
Yeah,
there will
yeah.
be meta games where this is not good and some where it is brilliant. But it should always be in that area where it's like fringe playable in the right circumstances. So perfect reprint from my point of view.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the most important thing, what shakes up the whole meta, is how many of these steel songs get reprinted. That's so
Yep.
important for the whole meta, and I
Yep.
think even if strength doesn't get reprinted, it's so crazy important for because we don't have, if we don't have this high density of steel removal decks, aggro decks get really much, I think.
Yes.
And
Um,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, that's a very, very good observation and something that I thought about a lot this weekend, which is like for the first time we saw a format where steel can be banned out of the format. And you saw what kind of decks were playable. And I dared to even think, like, what if Cindy Storm was all that was separating us from total chaos this whole time? We spent so long complaining about Cinderella and Storm Rage on. What if it was the only thing saving us from a really terrible metagame?
Yeah, that's like the thing is, in my experience of a of TCGs, it's very hard for them to evaluate if we have a problematic situation, because the crying is always there. If Cinderella Storm
Hmm.
wouldn't exist, there would surely be another thing we cry about. And so it's like hard to say, like, do we need to react, or is it like still fine, but the people will cry anyway? So it's like very hard for them, and then that's why, yeah, I think that could possibly be, yeah, if we have Cinderella Storm wouldn't exist, and we don't get as exactly, there are so many variants in it, like crab, fox. There are a lot of cards. If they don't get reprint, aggro could go crazy, I think. And because aggro has a lot of cards that will still be there, like Daisy, Genie stuff. There's a lot of potential, I think, for aggro decks. And Doc is also still there.
Hmm.
So there's like I could just, about this set 4 to 8, like what we have now, like there's a solid Doc deck already. So that we don't need much more, like Doc, Genies. Yeah, okay, then you have to play White Rose and stuff, but you have Diablo, but there's a lot of Calhoun. You have still Calhoun. I think you can already build a decent Doc purple steel pile.
Yep, for sure.
So, and that could go crazy because that's even good right now.
Hmm.
Cobra is also still there, so like there's a lot of that has a lot of potential for me. Yeah.
Well, let's not give everything away. Let's do a focus episode next time, or
Yes.
maybe the time
Yes.
after.
Yes. Friends, I hope we were not too negative today, but I think it's important to be honest, and we want to be an honest podcast. And I hope I'm not an asshole capitalist now for you all. And yeah, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, you're an asshole capitalist. No, no. Just like I, I don't. Every time that I've tried to justify like things that I've said when they've been a little bit negative, people have always told me that you don't need to justify that. What you said is fair, so I don't want to do it. But
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's like I feel a lot and I feel strongly, like, and so when we see something that looks like not the right trajectory for the game or not the right decision, we have some duty as like content creators to just to make
Yeah.
it clear that that's not the correct path, and then we move on. We don't need to dwell on it like forever. So this was like a nice tempered sort of, not a hit for me, but maybe we can do better sort of thing. And yeah, I hope that moves everyone in the right direction. And ultimately, like, I just hope that everyone gets to play and enjoy this game. Like, I hope that people get to come to DLCs. If you didn't last season, I really hope you get to come along to them. I hope you secure tickets and get to come and enjoy that and get to join the road to Disneyland, because it's awesome. And it's not like anything I've experienced in a game before. We just want that to continue, and we want it to increase. And yeah, just whatever it takes to make that happen, that's what I'm pulling for.
Very good. You explain things so much better than me. That's crazy. Because it's your native.
Probably.
It's just because it's your native language. It has to be that. It has to be that. I just pretend.
Well, I was about to say it's probably because we podcast in my native language, and and like for you, there's no way for every other sentence to not start with. I don't know how you say this in English. It's also not helped by the fact that, like, I think I use quite a lot of non-standard English words. Like, I say a lot of things where I don't ever think about you understanding me at all, which is really not a good. It's not a good quality.
No, it's fine. Understanding is way easier than speaking. But maybe we can do like, you learn German now, and then in like 3 weeks or so we do a German episode. We can do that. Then you see how my feelings are. No.
I'm busy, unfortunately. Yeah, I have to go now.
Yeah,
I have to. Okay. My dog ate my homework. I have to leave.
No, I think it would be not. We could possibly get less viewers then. Possibly, if we do it in German. I don't know.
Well, apart from it would obviously be hilarious to watch me humiliate myself. But they wouldn't stick around for a second episode of it, that's for sure. The first one will be fun, and then
and then it gets boring. Okay. So wrap it up, right?
Yep.
Yeah, thanks everyone for watching. Just thank you if you are still hearing, and we will be right back next week, and hope you will be there too. And have a good week. Get through the heat here, and till next time, and bye.
Bye.